Imagine looking into the night sky and seeing a giant military surveillance blimp drifting away, completely by itself. No pilot, no crew, and no way to bring it back. On May 18, 2026, near Laredo, Texas, that strange scenario became reality. A U.S. military-owned surveillance blimp operated by contractors supporting customs and border protection suddenly broke free from its tether during severe thunderstorms. And then, it started drifting toward Mexico. This is the story of the runaway border blimp. The blimp was a 66-foot unmanned aerostat designed to support surveillance operations along the southern border. It normally remained secured to the ground by a tether, allowing it to stay in the air while monitoring the surrounding area. But that evening, the weather changed everything. Severe thunderstorms moved through the Laredo area. Nearby weather observations recorded wind gusts reaching approximately 44 miles per hour. As the storm intensified, the blimp's tether became tangled with other cables. Operators tried to untangle them, but before they could regain control, the helium-filled aerostat became untethered. And suddenly, the surveillance aircraft was no longer where it was supposed to be. It was free. With no one aboard and no pilot controlling it, the massive blimp began drifting through the sky. For the people watching from the ground, there was almost nothing they could do. The very system designed to remain fixed above the border had become a moving object of its own. And then came the biggest problem. The blimp was drifting south, toward the U.S. Mexico border. At some point, the runaway aerostat crossed into Mexico. What had started as a surveillance mission near Laredo had turned into an unusual international recovery situation. But there was another question. Where would it come down? A 66-foot military-owned surveillance blimp was now floating uncontrolled somewhere beyond the border. Fortunately, the incident did not result in injuries on the ground. Eventually, the aerostat came down in a remote area of Mexico. The runaway blimp was finally on the ground. But the story wasn't over. U.S. and Mexican authorities then had to deal with the recovery of the wreckage and determine exactly what had happened. Officials later confirmed that the aircraft was a medium aerostat, but the military did not publicly identify its specific model. And that detail makes this incident even more unusual, because for something designed to watch the border from above, the blimp itself became the thing that crossed the border. There was no dramatic dogfight, no enemy attack, no pilot making a desperate landing, just a storm, tangled cables, and a massive surveillance balloon that suddenly slipped away. The incident is a reminder that even sophisticated surveillance systems are still vulnerable to something as unpredictable as severe weather. The blimp eventually came down, but for a few hours, a piece of U.S. military-owned surveillance equipment was simply out there, drifting wherever the wind decided to take it. And perhaps the strangest part of the entire story is this: the system built to watch the border ended up crossing it itself.